Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Today I'm going to be interviewing the Poor Man's Retro Game Room. How's it going?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I gotta say, I've been watching your videos recently. I'm a big fan.
Wow, thank you. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man.
It's no problem. Now I think we start off simple. How did you start your collection, or how did you get started with retro gaming?
Well, I've always had a few systems that left over from when I had them, to begin with. But really started about, I don't know, 7 or 8, 9 years ago. And honestly, I started watching the AVGN and started remembering how I missed all those retro games, and that's kind of what got me started into collecting again.
I see. Now, now another question. What's your opinion on the current retro gaming market? Like, what are your current thoughts on it? Do you think it's going towards a bad place, a good place? Let me know what you think.
Well, there's a lot of people that say that that the bubble's going to pop at some point. I don't see that happening, man. It's been steadily climbing. Um, I wish it was a little easier to get into, and I wish it was a little cheaper. But everything that I've seen kind of points towards it just the price to keep increasing and the value to keep increasing. It's unfortunate though, and I think that sometimes, it seems like different systems fluctuate. Sometimes the Sega Genesis is kind of up there, and then at other times it'll be SNES and so you just kind of got to watch everything. I use a lot of tools too to when I purchase a game to determine if it's actually, that should be the value of the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I just try to go my own way.
Hmm.
GameCube and Dreamcast aside, I try to go for, PS1 and N64. When everybody's going left, I tend to go right.
Yeah, and that's great advice. It really is. And there are still some retro systems out there that are cheap to collect for. I love collecting for the PS1, and one of the reasons is because it's cheap and because I was really into it when it first came out. So, yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just started collecting for the Sega Genesis. I hear that system is super cheap, although it's unfortunate. Like a few games that I do want for it are getting up there. Like Rise starts getting and playing boxes like $60, but yeah,
Yeah,
every console has its heavy hitters, I guess.
yeah, that's true. And the market does fluctuate somewhat. So, um, I don't know. I'm in a retro gaming trade group, and really that has helped me collect a lot of games that I want that maybe previously were out of my reach because I ended up trading for them, no cash exchanged, and so that's something to look into too. If you can get into a trade group, that can really help.
Yeah, I don't really have a trade group I know of, but I like one thing I wish I'd go. I always try to visit, odd retro gaming stores near me. There's like
Hmm.
5 or 6 around that. I try to visit all of them, see which one has the greatest price, and I try to stick with that one. There's different options out there. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
now, kind of a weird question, but what do you think? What do you think, in your opinion, is the most like underrated system to collect for?
Man, that's a great question. Um, I think the Dreamcast can be a little bit underrated. The library's not that big. I don't have a huge Dreamcast collection, but it is something that I would love to collect for. The PlayStation 1's underrated in my opinion as well. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of love for the PS1 out there in the retro collecting groups and a lot of the retro collecting YouTube channels. It doesn't seem like PS1 is way up there. And
Yeah,
one of the other ones that is pretty underrated in my opinion is the Wii as well. There's a lot of good games on the Wii. So,
yeah, most definitely. Now, in my opinion, I would say the Sega Master System. Nobody really collects for that system. As
yeah,
far
that's
as
yeah, that's a good call right there, man. Yeah, I know a few people that do, and they love it. But you're right, it is underrated. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now again, kind of a weird question, but like, what system do you think is going to be essentially like the next Sega Saturn, like the next system that's going to fully blow up, like the system that you can't really collect for anymore? I know that's kind of a weird way to say it. My apologies for that.
No, that ain't weird at all, dude. That's a good question. I'm just trying to give you the best answer. Man, that's a really good question. There was a lot more GameCubes out there than there were the Sega Saturn, you know. But man, the GameCube is expensive to collect for. And so you kind of got to just kind of watch. I don't know that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are ever going to reach those levels because, you know, there's some backward compatibility with the Xbox One, and there were so many games produced. Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see GameCube and Dreamcast going up to Sega Saturn levels.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're both sort of underrated systems that blew up recently. You know, GameCube is expensive, Dreamcast is kind of expensive. I can kind of see those two consoles going the Sega Saturn route, where each game was like $100.
Yeah, ridiculous amount. Yep. GameCube would be the next one, I would think, because I mean it's already on its way. So
yeah. One thing that's kind of weird about the GameCube is it has a lot of, you know, third-party games, and one game that I was looking up recently is this Animaniacs game that released for that generation, right? The PS2 version is $20. The OG Xbox version is $17. The GameCube version, $100. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's quite the discrepancy right there, man. Yeah, it seems like it's that way with a lot of the GameCube games that were on other platforms as well. You can almost guarantee that the GameCube game is going to be more expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Some of you believe your system is the most advanced in the universe. Let's review the numbers. Sega Genesis is 16 bits. 3DO is 32 bits. The Atari Jaguar is 64 bits. Which is more advanced? Clifford! 16 and 32 are less than 64. So with 64 bits, 3D graphics, real-world animation, and lightning speed that you can only get with Jaguar, which is more advanced? Clifford!
Can you repeat the question?
Jaguar! Jaguar! Jaguar!
Oh, I apologize. I wanted to add one system to the underrated that I did not think of. And I think that this might be heading towards Saturn type of prices, and that's the Nintendo Wii U. Those games are just starting to take off, and there wasn't a lot, you know, it wasn't a successful system, in my opinion. So there was less systems and less games out there. So I just wanted to add that because I completely spaced that out.
I gotcha. Now, another question. Well, this is sort of two questions, but what games in your collection hold the most value to you, and what games hold the most value, I guess, financially wise? Like, what games? What's the rarest games in your collection, and what's the rarest games to you personally?
So the games that hold the most value just to me, that maybe aren't valuable money wise, were the games that I owned back in the day. So nostalgia has a big influence on me. If it's games that I had back in the day, have great memories of playing them. A lot of my Sega Genesis games are not rare, but I love those games because they're nostalgic to me. But as far as the most rare games and the games that hold the most value, money-wise, is probably my Atari Jaguar collection. And I've just really been on a tear collecting for the Jaguar lately. And probably my most rare game would be Attack of the Mutant Penguins for the Atari Jaguar. And I just got it a couple weeks ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually meant to ask, like, is it Is it like expensive or weird to collect for the Atari Jaguar? Because I'd imagine it's going to be really expensive.
It's getting there, man. The systems are really expensive. I'm talking anywhere from 450, like a loose system, up to around $700 for a complete in-box system. The game only had 50. Some people argue 53 games released officially. There's a strong homebrew community out there that have created games and picked up games that were discontinued and actually finished them. But it's pretty weird, and one of the reasons I love it the most is because it is nostalgic to me as well. I got one back on launch. It's the first system I played a first-person shooter on. First system I played Doom on. So that's why I love collecting for it. And it's just weird. You don't see a lot of people collecting for the Atari Jaguar. So yeah, it's different, but it's been probably the most fun I've had collecting is for the Jaguar.
Yeah, no, I'd say for me, it's I kind of agree with you for the most part. I have my childhood GameCube games, like those personally have the most value, but and financially wise in my collection, just a few Dreamcast games and GameCube games.
Yep.
It's kind of weird too. My dad just knocked on my door one day. He's just like, "Hey, I found these old GameCube games in your mom's closet. Do you want
nice.
them?" And I was just like, "Yeah."
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Now, okay, another question. So what? Excuse me. Sorry, I gotta go real quick.
Okay, no problem.
Today's assignment: photograph the elusive Pokemon. How do you do it? You're gonna be fast. You need a keen eye, the best equipment, and lightning-quick reflexes.
No, you don't. All you need is Pokemon Snap, the first Pokemon game for N64. Find them, frame them, and shoot. You can even bring your Snap cartridge to a participating Blockbuster Video and print out stickers of your favorites.
Doesn't look like they're coming out today. Hard luck.
Pokemon Snap, gotta catch them.
Okay, sorry if I keep on going and leaving again, but
No worries.
So, what's your opinion on portable game? What's your opinion on portable gaming? Do you consider basically the same thing as console gaming, or no?
On portal gaming, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, portable gaming. Like
Portable.
game,
Okay. Console gaming as well. And there are some portable games out there that are pretty sought after, pretty expensive. And there's, one of the reasons I love my Switch, and it's probably my favorite modern console, is because you can play it, on the TV, and you can take it on the go as well. Plus, it has tons of modern retro games that you can get in the eShop, and yeah. So yeah, I think portable gaming, it was a lot of fun back in the day, and there's something very nostalgic about some of the old portable games, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, Game Gear. That stuff's cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, me personally, I like the Switch. Although for myself, I don't really take it out on the go a lot. For me, like the Switch is a TV system, but yeah, you get a lot of modern retro games. You get, of course, you get all the old school NES and SNES games. Of course, you get the Sega Genesis and 64.
That's right.
You get a lot on the Switch. But
a lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But like when it comes to the old portable systems, like the Game Boys and the PSPs, I honestly like those two. Although me personally, I don't really consider them like full-on games, like they're really just downgrades, but they have their place.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do, and a lot of that's nostalgia for me too. But there's some of them. The Game Gear was kind of like a Master System, but it was portable. It basically had the same power as a Master System. So, yeah, it was cool. It's certainly evolved, and of course most people play mobile games, and that's their portable gaming device, is their phone. So
yeah. Now, speaking of Sega portables, one of them that I've been looking for recently is the Sega Nomad, and that has shot up through the freaking roof.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, I've never played one. I've seen them in real life a few times, but they're a cool system, man. I mean, you can plug a Sega Genesis in. You got your, I mean, it's a portable Sega Genesis. That's all there is to it. It is. Took a lot of batteries. It's a very different looking portable console, but yeah, it was cool, man. Very cool. I'd love to own one.
Yeah, me personally, I'm trying to find like a good deal on one for the past few weeks. I've been, I don't know why, I've just been wanting that system for a long time.
Yeah, there's something very, very cool about the Nomad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what is your opinion on emulation?
Well, I think emulation has its place. I don't have a problem with emulation, and I think that, you know, it has been a way of preserving a lot of games too. So I would rather play on original hardware, you know, play an original game on original hardware, and I do like playing my retro games on a CRT, an old tube TV. But there are times when I'll play emulation. I do have like the Sega Genesis collection for the Switch. That's emulation. But sometimes it's kind of cool to play on your big screen, your flat screen TV, modern TV. So it definitely has its place. My preference, of course, is original hardware, original games on a CRT TV. But that's just me.
Yeah. Now, I mean, to be honest, I kind of think of emulation as a little bit of both. Like, I used to test games and play games. Like, one game that I definitely want for the GameCube is Chibi Robo, but that's about $180, $190. Like, the only way I could realistically play that game is through emulation.
Yeah, exactly. And there's games that I can only play through emulation as well. And you know, I don't have a problem with emulation. It's all on your preference, and it is a good way to play games that are just out of reach or ridiculously priced. I do have, like, my Nintendo Wii is hacked, so I have like the entire NES, SNES, and Genesis library just on my hacked Nintendo Wii. So yeah, and it is a good way to test a game too before you go out and purchase the original game. It's not a bad idea to test it out on emulation, see if it's something that you're actually going to want and play. Yeah.
Yeah, Bones,
good point.
Yeah, like right now I'm about to head over to the game store this week and I have a list of games.
Nice.
I'm planning on testing them out first before I go and get the real thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way to test it out. There are some games out there that, you know, you're probably not going to want. They might look cool in a review or something like that, but maybe not for you. So
yeah, actually one game that I tested out that I thought was going to be good was Scarface for the PSP. Like I heard the PS2 game was good, so I figured the PSP game was just going to be the exact same way, but it's pretty like some top-down puzzle game or something. It has like some clips from the movie and whatnot. Like Scarface for the PSP looks cool. It's just it's not that good to play.
Just not good. Yep. Yeah, so that's a really good point. Try that out on emulation and go, yeah, I'm gonna take a pass on that one.
Well, all right, man. I would just like to thank you for coming on here. Yeah, everybody, if you want to, go subscribe to the Poor Man's Retro Game Room.
Well, thank you very much for having me, man. This was a great conversation, and yeah, I'd like to have you on my channel at some point as well. So, but I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, it's no problem. Hope you guys have a great day. See you later.